Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
It was nearly a decade ago that Brett teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagine big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other, 1 family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit Breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
You don't have to understand the physics of flying to fly easy. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport.
Hi. For many years, I had to make tough decisions for my team and players. The decision for you is quite simple. If you have a house that is in need of repair, call my friend Dale. Dale buy houses. Recently, I spoke with Dale about my property. He gave me all of the do's and don'ts. He wanted me to be smart about the decision I was going to make. You ought to be smart too. Call Dale. He buy houses.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Do not attempt to adjust your sets. Roger is out this week, and Kate Adams of Sports Update with Kate very graciously joined just today. How are you, Kate?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here and be Roger today.
Yeah.
Always fun. Hopefully I can be just as funny as he is.
To be Roger, right? So, you know, obviously what we start talking about, the heartbreak for the Who Dat Nation. In all your years of watching sports, have you ever seen a blown call as bad as that one in the NFC Championship?
No. No. That's literally, I've talked to so many people about this. I've actually watched the play too many times, looked at the still shots of it just to see, okay, could it have gone any other way? But there were refs standing very close. But no, even someone did the play on Madden, the exact same play, to see what the referees would do, and guess what? The referees in the game of Madden threw up the pass interference.
Wow.
So no, I've never seen a no call like that. And it was that bad, to answer your question, because you're in the NFC Championship, this is your job, and they try to pick the best guys to be selected to ref this game, and then they can't even make a call that's as important as that one. So yes, pretty bad.
The NFL has been awfully slow in issuing an official statement and responding to this whole debacle. What does your heart tell you? Would the NFL have come out with a very strong statement by now if that no call had gone against, I don't know, America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, or the Patriots? Would it have been the same response?
Yeah, I think personally that Roger Goodell does not like Sean Payton, does not like the Saints, and it may have possibly gone differently if it would have been the Cowboys or the Patriots.
Right.
I know that Robert Kraft and Roger Goodell actually had a little tiff, when Brady was getting everything for the Deflategate, but they're back buddies again. They probably had a cocktail last night laughing about that missed call. I mean, who knows? But no, I don't think it would have been the same if it would have been the Cowboys or the Patriots.
You were in the dome for the game. So let's start with the team's reaction. What was it like talking to the team after this obvious blown call?
I have never seen these. First of all, I'm normally there when they win because they had a great season.
Well, yeah.
And so the atmosphere to differentiate between the two, I mean, these guys were so sad. Alvin Kamara didn't even stay for an interview. He immediately left. Normally, him and Mark Ingram do an interview together. He got up and left. A lot of those, and they were taught, you could just feel how big of an impact not getting this win was to them. And guys were crying. I mean, it was one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
Wow. Were there any comments or any one particular comment that really stands out in your mind that you remember more than any other?
Yeah, I think so. Well, we were talking to Michael Thomas, and so Sean Payton did talk to the league office, and they admitted to it. They said, we blew the call on it, not even on the pass interference, but also on a helmet-to-helmet.
Right.
So they said on 2 counts they blew the call. Well, so Michael Thomas knows this, and we're basically asking him his thoughts. He goes, well, it's not like they're actually going to let us play a rematch. Now, there are some talks about it, but we all know that's pretty much impossible. So, I mean, he's just like, it doesn't even matter that the league office made those comments because they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And so I think that's huge. I mean, all the players know it, and this was a huge season for the Saints, especially after what happened last year.
Yeah, logistically, it's almost impossible. I mean, if you play it maybe the very next day, possibly. But, you know, you can't put it off a week because you've got airline schedules that are going to have to be adjusted, hotel accommodations, and, of course, one team, if you did it the following week, would only have a week's rest before the Super Bowl, whereas the Patriots would have 2 weeks rest, and that's just not going to fly. Logistically, it's just not going to happen. Now, it's one thing when you are interviewing the players because they understand, well, some things I better not say because the league is going to find me and, you know, the team is not going to be happy. What about the fans? What was their reaction for those that you encountered after this horrific call?
Oh, fans were actually, and it's not even funny, but I don't even know why. So all the media is in a holding area waiting to get in the press conference. Everybody's coming out of the bunker club.
Right.
They're flipping us off, cursing us. They think that we're like the Rams media or something. Like, none of us were Rams media. We're actually all New Orleans Saints media. And this one lady was like, I can't believe you're out here. You know, just they were not in a happy mood to say the least. And they didn't even want to see us. They didn't want to be on TV. They didn't want anything to do with us because think of it. Saints fans got crushed last year with the Minnesota Miracle. And then this year, for this to happen in the Dome, you know, in the final minutes of regulation, it's huge.
Have you ever been a part of an event where things went from being that loud, that boisterous, that hopeful to the bottom just falling out?
All right, talk about the bottom falling out. The actual ceiling did fall, and I was it almost fell on top of my head actually because I was walking right past it.
Wow.
So the fans were so loud that the literal ceiling started falling out on the bottom parts of the dome. No one got hurt or anything, and it was very minimal. But no, I've never seen anybody go from that high of a high to that low of a low. It was insane.
It was absolutely insane, and something that none of us are going to forget anytime soon. When we come back, we will move ahead to segment 2 of this week's edition of the Kate Make That the Roger Cador Show. Stay with us.
Hi. For many years, I had to make tough decisions for my team and players. The decision for you is quite simple. If you have a house that is in need of repair, call my friend Dale. Dale buy houses. Recently, I spoke with Dale about my property. He gave me all of the do's and don'ts. He wanted me to be smart about the decision I was going to make. You ought to be smart too. Call Dale. He buy houses.
It was nearly a decade ago that Brett teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagine big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other, one family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit Breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
have to understand the physics of flying to fly easy. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport.
My name is Dr. Ashley Blanche, chiropractic physician at Momentum Chiropractic and Sports Rehab. We are here to get you better faster if you suffer from any type of injury, ranging from sprain and strain injuries to nerve pain. If you have an injury and you have a question about it or want us to evaluate you, please give us a call at 225-218-6126, or you can visit our website, mymomentumcare.com, for more information about our services.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Welcome back for segment 2 of this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Kate Adams, a host of Sports Update with Kate, seen here on Pelican Broadcasting, filling in for Roger, who has some contractual duties out of the country this week. Kate, we were talking about the Saints as we went to the last break. What sort of damage do you think the NFL suffered, if any, as far as credibility is concerned? I mean, you're talking a venue where people expect, if nothing else, if I shell out all this money for a ticket, the game's going to be fair. Any damage to their credibility long-term out of this?
Well, you've already got people saying, okay, well, I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl because of what happened.
Right.
And some people are going as far as saying they don't even want to watch the NFL at all anymore. So I think it did a whole lot of damage to them. And the fact that they're not even making a comment, there's things that can be done. Roger Goodell does have the power. If you really did want to have a rematch or play that last minute 50 of the game, he has the power to do that. It says that in the NFL rule book.
But we're kind of past the point where we could do that now.
So fans, I think, at this point are just... The NFL has done so many things to rub fans the wrong way over the past few years.
Yeah.
And this is just almost like the cherry on top of the sundae.
And obviously, with the whole take a knee fiasco, this was the last thing that the NFL needed, isn't it?
This is definitely the last thing the NFL needed. I mean, Roger Goodell, I don't know if he will go down as one of the most disliked NFL commissioners in history, but I know they also put the point of, okay, well, he's made the NFL raise all this money since he's been on. Well, maybe, but the things that he does and the way that he does them, no one likes that. And it's just, there needs to be some changes, and people need to feel like it's a fair game.
Right.
And right now, nobody feels that way, even people who aren't Saints fans.
Yeah. Is Roger Goodell, though, the one to do this? I mean, as you go throughout the history of his tenure, it seems like he's the wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time, constantly.
I think that man needs to go somewhere. I don't feel like he does anything but just simply be the face of the NFL, even though he can do so much more as the NFL commissioner. And I think fans are just kind of fed up by the way he does things. I think fans want someone who is going to resonate with them when things like this happen, or at least try to be fair and not, you know, a lot of times when you see Roger Goodell, he's so bland. It's just like, we are doing everything we can to fix this. Okay, like we don't even feel like you're actually being genuine about that when you're saying those statements. And so I think what people want is someone who they feel actually really does care about the sport and the way that the sport's going and the future of the sport as well.
Can anything short of winning, I don't know, 2 Super Bowls in a row ever wash this horrible taste out of the mouths of Saints fans? Or is this something that, you know, in reading a eulogy for the most ardent Saints fans at their funerals, they'll be talking about the play the call that was never made?
Well, I mean, if they won 2 Super Bowls back-to-back and then had 3 Super Bowls overall, I mean, I don't see how fans would be upset with that. Now, that would be insane for them to do that. Obviously, we would all love that. But I feel like unless, honestly, the Saints win a Super Bowl next year, no, this is always going to be a sour taste in Saints fans.
And even then, you'll probably hear, well, this should be 2 in a row.
Exactly.
You know, because we were robbed in 2019. You hear some people say, well, the call itself was not responsible for the Saints losing the game because they failed to score touchdowns on the 2 opening possessions. The play calling was suspect on the last drive of regulation, but that call pretty much would have effectively ended the game. I mean, don't you have to deal with the instance at hand instead of conjecture?
I think so. I mean, obviously anything can happen in the game. You wish, yes, early on in the game when they were in the red zone, they would have been more effective instead of kicking field goals, gotten the touchdowns. But it doesn't matter because it all boiled down to that moment. And if the right call would have been called, then, or if a call would have been called, there was no call, then the Saints would have won the game unless Will Lutz kicked a field goal. I don't know. I mean, it was 99% chance probably of winning if that would have happened.
You were fortunate enough to, this game and throughout the course of the season, to be able to interact with the players after the game. Any idea how the players view from an emotional letdown standpoint the Minnesota Miracle versus the call that wasn't?
I think the call that wasn't is worse than the Minnesota Miracle because the call that wasn't was something that was completely out of their control. You know, I mean, it was all in the ref's hands. And so for the Saints, they do feel like they got robbed. I mean, the Minnesota Miracle is a little different scenario, you know. So this is literally, if it just the call would have been made, they most likely would be on there getting prepared to go to the Super Bowl in Atlanta.
And you would think in a city like New Orleans, where there's a legacy of voodoo and the like, there's something we could do to get this curse off of the Saints. But there you go. When we come back, we will continue with segment 3 of The Coach, Roger Cador Show. Wink, wink, stay close.
You don't have to understand the physics of flying to fly easy. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport.
Hi. For many years, I had to make tough decisions for my team and players. The decision for you is quite simple. If you have a house that is in need of repair, call my friend Dale. Dale buy houses. Recently, I spoke with Dale about my property. He gave me all of the do's and don'ts. He wanted me to be smart about the decision I was going to make. You ought to be smart too. Call Dale. He buy houses. Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg, we just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
It was nearly a decade ago that Brett teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagine big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other. One family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
Welcome back for this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show, coming to you from Scoreboard's Sports Grill at 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill. Oh man, you talk about absolutely wonderful food. Food that South Louisiana folks enjoy, like this chicken fettuccine. Oh my God, that's what you see Roger always sticking his head in. It's food for just good, regular folks like you and I. And you know, one of our long-term sponsors, Baton Rouge Metro Airport, is great for regular folks like you and I that enjoy food like this to fly to their destinations. Recently, Roger happened to be at BTR and talk with some everyday folks like you and I. Let's see how that conversation went.
we have Rob here, who is a frequent flyer out of the BTR. Rob, can you tell us about your experience flying out of BTR?
Well, it's just kind of convenient because I travel quite a bit, and it's a lot more accessible than some airports, close to all the downtown areas, conveniences, and things of that nature. So it's really nice.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing about it is that it's a very beautified. I mean, it's very clean and all of that. You can sit in the rocking chairs and look at the plane come and go.
Absolutely. And got it decorated nice for Christmas, the holidays. That's really nice as well.
Yeah, so, well, good, yeah. And the other thing is you get to, a frequent flyer like yourself, you get to know all of the people who work here.
Well, I see a lot of people, but I don't quite know them. But yeah, I do see a lot of people in and out.
Well, good. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to share your remarks with us.
And also there's Joey Burrow. He's an Athens, Ohio transplant from where I'm from. So it's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks so much.
Go Tigers.
Go. All right. We are fortunate to have a beautiful lady by the name of Mimi, who is just coming from a flight. Can you tell us about the airport? What is it like, the experience here?
I like the airport. My granddaughter is here, and she's graduating.
Really?
So that's why we're here this time. But I like this airport as always. This is my size. I'm a
Great.
country girl.
Where are you from, Mimi?
I'm from Georgia.
Georgia. Go Bulldogs.
Right.
Oh, I heard a dog.
Yes, he's a big dog.
All
He
right,
is a
yeah.
big dog. So.
Well, good. Thanks for
And
coming.
what do you do?
I'm a former baseball coach at Southern University here. And we're doing this for a TV show, and we're talking about the airport, and we wanted to interview people and tell them about the wonderful experience here.
It is a very pleasant experience.
Well, thanks so much, Mimi.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your
Nice meeting you,
granddaughter
too.
graduation.
Thank you. Thank you. We're proud of her.
All right, thanks. Hey, we're here with Zelda, a traveler from the ATL from Atlanta, Georgia, coming to Baton Rouge to her nephew?
My nephew's
Your nephew
graduation.
graduated from
yes,
SU.
Yes.
Tell me some of the things that you've noticed about our airport here.
Oh, it is so beautiful. I forgot. I've flown here before, but I forgot exactly how nice it is. It is beautiful, very upscale, up to date, modern.
Well, that's the one thing we like about it is it's not like the ATL where it's so gigantic, big, and so much. This thing is more of a family type of atmosphere here.
Yes, it is very friendly.
I mean, it's so much friendly that I can talk with you
That is correct.
and interview you for the first time meeting you.
That is correct. That is correct.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
good. You told us a very interesting story about your nephew. We don't have enough time to put it all on, but it is a wonderful story, and it is against all odds.
It is.
And it's amazing that you mentioned against all odds because I wrote a book against all odds.
See how spirits work?
Yes, it's so interesting that you
Connected.
blurted that out. So.
Exactly.
So Zelda, we really appreciate you sharing a few moments with us, okay?
Thank you so much. And
right.
I'll have to look out for you. You can pull up everything now on the internet, so I'll have to look you up.
You do that, okay?
I will do that. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Okay, bye.
And surely enough, it is just ordinary people that make BTR so special. I told you she's a great fill-in for Coach, doing just like Roger, stuff in her face, doing the package.
You set down food in front of me, I'm gonna eat it.
When we come back, we'll wrap up the Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg, we just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Ashley Blanche, chiropractic physician at Momentum Chiropractic and Sports Rehab. We are here to get you better faster if you suffer from any type of injury, ranging from sprain and strain injuries to nerve pain. If you have an injury and you have a question about it or want us to evaluate you, please give us a call at 225-218-6126, or you can visit our website, mymomentumcare.com, for more information about our services.
It was nearly a decade ago that Breck teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagine big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other, one family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
Hi. For many years, I had to make tough decisions for my team and players. The decision for you is quite simple. If you have a house that is in need of repair, call my friend Dale. Dale buy houses. Recently, I spoke with Dale about my property. He gave me all of the do's and don'ts. He wanted me to be smart about the decision I was going to make. You ought to be smart too. Call Dale. He buy houses.
You don't have to understand the physics of flying to fly easy. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport.
Welcome back for the final segment of this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Kate Adams of Sports Update with Kate, filling in for the coach. Drew Brees turned 40 recently, Kate. Does he have another run in him for a Super Bowl?
I think that he does, but look, and I was talking to you off air about this. Tom Brady's 41. He's going to another Super Bowl.
Right.
Drew Brees had one of his best seasons ever, and if he can just kind of duplicate that next season, they've still got a very strong team. I think he's got it in him.
I said from week 1 on my radio show, this was going to be a crazy football season. Can you remember one this crazy from college to pro?
For the state of Louisiana, it's kind of a sad season for us after what happened at Texas A&M and for the Saints. But no, I would have never thought at the beginning of the season that it would be like this.
On behalf of the coach, Kate, and the crew, I'm Clarence Buggs. We will see you next week with another edition of the Roger Cador Show. See you then.